Yo, YouTube, everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we actually have a very interesting tier list. It's going to be competitive Call of Duty players. Now, this list is actually from 2020. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to look at the list for what it is, and I'm going to compare the players, I'm going to say at their peak. I think that's fair. I'm going to say the players overall, okay? I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the players overall, who I think was a better player just throughout their career. Overall, we'll go like that. So starting off, it's going to be that boy Nade Shot. We're going to give it to him over Theory. Let's go through to the second version, okay? It's going to be, I forgot his name. Is it Zach or Denzel? I forgot his name, but I mean, come on. That's that boy Dashi. It's that guy Dashi, come on. I'm going to take them from now, where we are in 2024, by the way, not in this version, which was, MW19. We're going to go with this version now. And when I say that, I mean, it's in this current time frame in 2024, heading into Black Ops 6, who had a better career, who was a better player overall. Apathy, absolute GOAT, one of my favorite pros of all time. But that boy Scumpy, come on, he's literally my GOAT, so it's going to be Scumpy. Oh, okay. They've done Sensor pretty dirty here. I'm not going to lie, going up against him. They've done him fairly dirty there. Oh, Mac versus Pre-Star. Very interesting one. I think if Mac played a few more years, maybe potentially could be in a conversation, but I think Priester winning champs and just overall his dominance in Black Ops 4 and certain years, like he's definitely going to be up there. Aches, yeah, you could disagree with him as much as you like, but he's going to be up there in the tier list. Okay, that boy Dylan versus Formal. It's going to be that boy Formal, absolutely. Illy versus Crowder. I like this one. I think overall career, you have to give it to Crowder as a player, because of longevity. I think Illy had a really good year, obviously winning champs, and then it kind of went downhill from there. I know he's supposed to be back this year. I don't know what roster he's getting himself on. Definitely can revive and save his career, but for now, I think you have to give it to Crowder. I think that's very fair. He's also won as a coach as well. Ooh, okay, Octane versus Methods. Two of my favorite creators currently, both of them in that scene as as creators now, being a part of the flank and obviously the breakdown and optics stuff like watch parties. Ooh, I love Octane, I love Methods. I'm gonna give it to Octane, bro. Again, just great player. I think his ending of his career, winning champs as well, really just kind of bumped up his status, rightfully so. This is a very interesting one because I think both of them at their peak was so dominant. Gunless and John. Who was a better player? When you look at their career, I think, oh, this is a tough one, man. I think Gunless had a higher, I can't even say higher peak or ceiling, if I'm honest with you, because John was, if you guys watched John back in the day, like he was good in Black Ops 2, and then he was absolutely gross in Black Ops 3, and like 4, like he was disgusting, not 4, I think it was like Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare, like, this guy was disgusting as well. I'm going to give it to John, bro. I'm going to give it to John. Maybe that's nostalgia talking, but I'm going to give it to John. Waskins versus Cheen. Oh, okay. Definitely had a better peak in that year. I don't know, man. I like Waskins. I don't know. I'm gonna give it to Waskins. Big T versus Pristini. Pristini is a world champ, but I'm gonna go with Big T. I think he's a little bit underappreciated because he's played in an era where Call of Duty wasn't as popular. So I do think he's underappreciated a little bit. And he definitely won more chips than people realize and stuff like that. But that was back in the day, so it's a little bit harder to compare. Got that boy Zuma versus TJ. Look, I think TJ's a great player, but come on, we can't be disrespecting the GOAT Zuma. Come on, bro. Even for what he's done in the scene, I'm not going to count that, like the flank and that, but this guy's him, bro. Zuma was him at a time, and like I really like Zuma's playstyle. And overall, just as a player, I definitely gonna have Zuma there. Quad Rex versus Major Maniac. I'm gonna go with that boy Major Maniac. Okay, Slasher. Slasher versus Classic. I'm gonna go with Slasher as a career. Definitely Austin's had one. Rambo versus Slacked. I like this one. I like this one a lot. This is a weird one. I mean, if you're looking at GOATs are called, oh, this is such a weird question. Who's a better COD player, Rambo or Slacked? Slacked was really good for a number of years, and he was a very consistent player in the league. Actually, I'm gonna give it to Rambo simply because I feel like he was known to be one of the smartest players at the start of the game with Hardpoint. And I think he was one of those like revolutionaries to Hardpoint and really changed the way the game mode was played in those early years. And I think, yes, he was always known as that OBJ player, maybe wasn't as respected as much, but I'm going to give it to Rambo. This was a weird one for me. I'm not going to lie. This was a really weird one. Oh, Nade versus Dashi. I think even Nade would vote for that boy Dashi, especially after winning champs this year. Okay, why would they do this to me, bro? Why would they do? At least I got my title. At least I got my title. Simp versus Scump. This is really tough for me. This is really tough for me because I'm a Scump fanboy. I am a Scump fanboy. I've been watching him since I was 10 years old. I'm a Scump fanboy. But Simp has just every single year gone better and better and better and closing the gap. I think right now I'm going to give it to Scump. I think as the years go by, every single year he's getting closer and closer and closer. And I think it's only a matter of time before he's going to become undeniable and you have to give it to Simp. For now, I'm going to go with Scump. You could argue either way. I'm going to go with Scump for now. Priester versus Aches. I'm going to give it to Aches. I think he's just, again, accomplished a bit more. You obviously have to take some things as like what they are, which is like Prime versus, like for example, Aches versus Priester, right? Like one career is done, one isn't done yet, so it's hard to compare. But I'm just looking at overall COD career, overall peak, just overall as a player who I think will be who's the better COD player. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to compare. Like Simp and Scump, like when it's all said and done, the answer could change, but I'm gonna keep it as Scump. Formal versus Crowder. I'm gonna give it to that boy. Formal. Crowder, great player, but Formal, unbelievable. John versus Octane. Okay. Both of them won 1 ring each. Oh, this is a weird one, man. You know what? I think Octane left at a fairly high point. Yes, he left at a point where maybe they weren't unbelievable when he let like an MW2, but they were still a good team. They just came off champs. I think he left at a point where he was still doing very good and he was still competing, where John kind of, Cold War went a little bit in a downfall, and he kind of went on a bit of a downfall and then kind of left the scene. And I feel like that low-key affected him in a negative way, like his stock and stuff. So I'm going to give it to Octane there because, yeah, I think that's the only way I can say it. I'm going to go for that boy Big Timer again, just like we went through earlier. Okay, Zuma for me. We can kind of speed through these ones. Slasher definitely just had more of a all-rounded career. Dashi versus Scumpy. Oh, I'm sorry, Dashi. Sorry, bro. I'm sorry, Bruce. I'm sorry. Yeah, not even close. Aches, don't even touch Formal, I'll be real. Don't even come close to Formal. I'm going to give it to Octane here. Oh, Zuma versus Slasher. You know what? I'm going to give it to... Oh, again, what do we do here? What do we do? Because Zuma got injured, bro. Zuma got injured, so he kind of had to shut his career. Like, I think he was still going to fry. He's just won more. He's a champ. He's won champs. I think we're just going to give it to Slasher there. Again, bit of a sellout answer, I'm not going to lie. Bit of a rough one, but we're going to give it Slasher there. No, T2P. Who do we go with? It's going to be that boy Scumpy. I think when we look at these two, it's just preference. I'm not going to lie. We're going to go with that boy Scumpy. Slasher versus Octane. Okay. This is a good one. I think for many years, they actually had good AR rivalry, good battles. I don't know if it's recency bias or what, but I kind of am going to lead towards Octane slightly. To be honest, Scump, I'm going to put over any of them. So I'm just going to give it to Octane and then we'll go with Scump. Yeah, we'll go with Scump. So the left side is going to be Scumpy for me. Now we've got the right side. Tommy versus Temp. I kind of like Tommy. I think Tommy is very underrated. I think what he's done in the water scene as well, for me, just stands out. I don't really want to use that as an argument. It's a bit unfair in the CDL, but I'm going to give it to Tommy. Claystar is definitely going to be in the top of this list, up there for sure. So give it to that boy, Claystar. Pharaoh, I think, unfortunately passed away. I think he was unbelievable as a player. And, it was really unfortunate that he wasn't able to it's just really sad what happened. So we only got a few years of him competing and he was unbelievable. So we'll give it to him. And obviously RIP and respect to him. He was an unbelievable player. So we're going to carry on with this list here. Silly is a world champ. Accuracy. There was times where Silly was actually pretty disgusting. Like IW and a bit of like World War II when he won champs. I don't know, man. I'm gonna give it to Lamar. I might respect Lamar a little bit here for that longevity and the things we don't see. Again, like we're looking at these teams. We're not looking at the Seattle Surge version of Damon. No, we're looking at overall Damon Barlow. Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. Itachi is a great player, but that boy Damon Barlow. This is where it gets interesting for me. TP versus Celium, because TP is one of the COD goats. I think that's for sure. But then Celium is kind of just got up there in that staple. Like in the last few years, he's just really taken over. And that's where I think you have to look at the ranking and say, like, has he finally overtaken the players like Slasher, TP, like all these players? I think he has, to be honest with you. I think he's done it for a number of years now. I'm going to put Slasher in. I'm going to put Celium in. Sorry, not Slasher. But Celium in. JCat versus Kenny. Could have been argued. I think after Kenny wins this ring as well, I think we're going to give it to that boy Kenny. 2 rings. Unbelievable player. We're going to give it to that boy Kenny. Okay, we've got some SMG battle going on. Hook versus Bant. What are we going to go with here? I'm going to go with... This is a very, very good one. I actually like this one because they're both pretty good players. They both had... who do we go with? I'm going to go with Hook. Go with Cammy, simply because of that. Cammy looks so different. It's actually crazy. Envoy versus Asim. I like them both. Going to go with Envoy here. I think he has a bit more to him. Scraps versus Zero. For me, Scraps, when he joined in World War II, was different, bro. He was unbelievable. I think they both had a very good career, very similar. I've always kind of thought Scraps has been really talented, maybe a little bit more than Zero. I thought he's maybe one of the most talented EU players we produced. Zero as well, to be fair to him, IW was really good, and he's had a good career as well, but I'm going to give it to that boy Scraps. Okay. I forgot his name. Is it Aqua? I forgot his name, but we're going to give it to that boy Havoc. We're going to give it to that boy Colt Havoc. A BZ versus Artetes. It's going to be a BZ. Former teammates go head-to-head. Crim6 now versus Slot Slacked versus Enable. Is that boy Crim6 the most... I can't speak English. The man who's won the most chips in Call of Duty history. And now we have another icon. We have that boy Shotzi, the two-time champ. The Halo champ is going to be that boy Shotzi. We're going to go through. We're going to give it to that boy Joe. We're going to speed through these ones now. Tommy v Clay. It's going to be Clayster in this scenario. Let's go through. It's going to be Pharaoh, Taster, Accuracy in the next one. Damon Barlow versus Selly. And this is what I mean. So I think he had enough in his locker to beat TP. I don't think he has enough in his locker just yet to compete with Karma. So we're going to go with that boy, Damon Barlow, Karma here. Then we have Kenny versus Hook. We're going to give it to Kenny. I think Kenny's a better player. Cammy versus Envoy. I'm going to give it to Envoy. Cammy's prime, better than Envoy's prime. I think Cammy's prime in that Cold War, unbelievable. Hasn't quite got back to that level. So we're giving it to that boy, Dylan Envoy. Let's go through. Who do we have here? Scraps or Havoc? I'm going to give it to Havoc. I mean, to be honest, you can argue either one. See what I'm saying? This is the problem. Like, a BZ or Crim. Like, I just think it's disrespectful to not choose Crim here, bro. The guy's won the most in history. He's won the most by far. Now, I know it's different because of the CDO era. I know. I think when it's all said and done, I think a BZ, Simp, and Selim will be in the top 5. I really do. But for now, it's going to be that boy Crim. I'm going to give it to Crim. I have to. Shotzi, that guy's going to be up there for sure. Again, simply because he played so long at such a high level, I think it's going to be very hard to beat Claystar. He's definitely going to be up there as an overall career. It's an unbelievable career. Karma versus Kenny, the coach versus player. Who are we going with here? Who is a better player? Oh, this is going to be interesting. I'm going to go with Damon Barlow. 3 rings, absolute icon to the scene. We're going to go with that boy, Damon Barlow. It's getting interesting. Oh, no, Crimby Shotzi. Oh, I'm such a Shotzi fanboy. 2 times champ. I think because I made a BZ lose to Crim, I think it's only fair that Crim beats Shotzi. I think right now, we have to give respect to the old heads. I think we do. We have to give respect to the old heads, to the icons. In a few years, as the years go on, maybe in 1 or 2 more years, when we redo this list, I think by then, you know, we can relook at it and maybe have a few more of the younger guns in, because they're just taking over, man. It is what it is. The times are changing and they may be over on the list. For now, Damon Barlow versus Clayster. When you're looking at your all-time COD list, I personally have Damon Barlow slightly higher than Clay. I know some may disagree, and that's absolutely fine. That's what the comment sections are for. There, that boy Crim6. Let's get through. Who do we have now? Crim versus Karma. I'm simply going to go with... I'm going to go with Crim, bro. I'm going to go with Crim. Very close, though. And then we have the GOAT versus the GOAT. I'm going to go with that boy Scumpy. This is definitely a bit of favoritism. I'm not going to lie to you. We look through. Look at the final 4. We have the Dynasty. Okay, this is my tier list. That was a difficult one to make. There was definitely a few you could have got through. Again, like I said, it just depends on your criteria. Like, because if you look here, you could easily have a BZ beat Crim, right? And then from there, I think it's a BZ versus Shotzi. Whoever wins that gets through to the finals. Same on the left side here, right? You could have... I'm pretty sure you could have had Simp if you wanted to beat Scump, and then you have Simp. So it could have even been Simp, Shotzi and BZ in the semi-finals, but I went for a bit more of the. I wanted to respect the OGs a little bit more there, put them in the tier list, because I feel like maybe in the next few years this may change. But for now, this is my all-time Call of Duty list, and your boy Scumpy is going to be the GOAT, the king of Call of Duty for me. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'm sure the comments are going to disagree, and that's absolutely fine. YouTube, let me know down below what you guys think. Catch you guys for another one tomorrow. Peace.